Getting a proper understanding about your money for yourself is one thing, but how do you pass that knowledge on to your kids? We're going to talk about that coming up.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to another Sunday night sit down with his and her money. I'm Talent.
And I'm Ty, and we're managing money, marriage, and everything in between.
Now, we know you guys are fired up. You're in full-fledged hustle season mode, and you're out there trying to make a change when it comes to handling your money. And we want you to win. You know that's what Ty and I are all about, getting you to be able to win with your money. But we just don't want you to win. We want you to win in a way that not only stays with you, but that you're able to pass on to your kids to create a legacy for your family when it comes to your finances. And so we're going to talk about some ways in which we pass on the knowledge of personal finance to our kids. And this is important to us because me individually, when I was growing up, my parents were good with money. They handled their money well. The problem and the disconnect came because those lessons were not passed down to me. They didn't tell me why they were making the decisions they were making, why they were handling the money the way they were handling, and some of the things that they were using to invest in things of that nature and get rid of debt. Like, we didn't talk about these things. And so when I got out on my own, I was out there trying to figure it out on my own and fell flat on my face. And so it is super important for you to be able to not only have the knowledge for yourself, but that you turn around and give that same knowledge to your kids.
That's right. And for me, I grew up in a household where there was 5 children, and I have a twin sister, and I just thought growing up, because I had a twin, that meant double everything, and my parents just didn't have the money to be able to spend on us like I would have wanted them to as a young child. My parents were very good with money, but I will say one drawback, if I had to say there was a drawback, even though they were good with money, I saw their actions that spoke louder than words. We didn't necessarily sit down and communicate and talk about why they were making some of the decisions that they were making or choices for the family, or why we couldn't do or have certain things, why the answer was no. Now, I'm not saying that every single time, your children ask you, can they have this, and you say no, that you have to tell them. Sometimes we tell our children because mommy said so,
right.
But I do think that it's important to explain the reasons why, and I'm going to tell you why. I can remember a story. My sister and I, we graduated from 8th grade. We were about almost 13 at the time, and our 8th grade graduation trip was a trip to Six Flags Great America, and that's an amusement park here in Illinois, and the tickets were about $30, and that was transportation and everything. And because it was 2 of us, my sister and I automatically assumed there's no way we're going to ask mom and dad for $60. They're going to immediately say no. We just knew $60 was a lot of money back then, and it was, especially for our family. So guys, you know what we did? We didn't even ask. To the point that the day when everyone went on the trip, my sister and I were the only 2 left behind out of the entire class. And I remember we had to sit in the music teacher's classroom all day. It was such a sad moment.
Oh.
And so when we came home, that's when we told our mom, it was an 8th grade graduation trip, and she said, why didn't you all give me the form to, write the money, write the check and allow you guys to go? We said, well, Mom, we just thought you all were going to say no. We didn't know that we could ask because we just automatically assumed that $60 was a lot of money. So in that case, in my family, growing up in my family's home, I saw them handle money in such a good way that I was even afraid to even approach them to go on a trip such as my 8th grade trip. So now we want to make sure in our family, in our home, that we incorporate the reasons why. Yes, there are going to be times that you're going to be able to do things or be able to purchase certain items, but there are going to be many a times where the answer is just no. And I can even attest, for our children, sometimes when they're watching television, every commercial is a infomercial of some type of toy of some sort, some type of gadget.
Yep.
My son will come running in the kitchen, Mommy, can you buy me XYZ? And I'll tell him no. And I have to explain to him why. Daddy goes to work. He works extremely hard to bring the paycheck home so we can have this beautiful home, a roof over our head, clothes. You see the clothes that you're wearing? You see the toys that you get for Christmas? You see your birthday parties that you have? And he says, well, yes. I have to explain it in a way where a 5-year-old can understand it, of course. But he has to understand that we can't just take money and buy everything, because if we did, we would not be able to live.
So when it comes to teaching your kids about money, there's 3 categories of money that they need to learn, just like there's 3 categories of money that you need to learn. That's how to save your money, how to spend your money and how to give with your money. And so when it comes to, now our kids are small, they're 5, 3, and 2. So when it comes to saving, they have piggy banks, but they also, believe it or not, each one of them have their own savings account. So when they get money for birthdays or Christmas or just random money from grandma or pop or nan, they take that money, if it's coins, and they each walk up to their own piggy bank and they put it in there. Or if it's dollars, they know that that money goes into their savings accounts. And when their piggy banks get full, Ty doesn't just leave it there. She takes them to the bank with their piggy bank so that they can go up to the counter and make deposits into their savings account. And so we're teaching them spending in that way. I mean, that's a simple thing. Why don't your kids have savings accounts? If ours, as small as they are, have savings accounts, maybe possibly yours should have savings accounts as well. And when it comes to learning how to spend their money, it's all about life, just like Ty just talked about. Trust me, the opportunities are going to present themselves to you because your kids are going to want something that for you to buy for them. And so it's like Ty said, sometimes it's in those moments where you just say no because I said so, and that's fine. But don't let that be the answer all the time. Take those opportunities to teach your kids that income comes from what? Work. And you have to teach them that mommy and daddy go to work to get this money to take care of things. And so you have to teach them the value that it's not all about just receiving and asking mom and dad for money, but that money comes from work. And if your kids are a little bit older, maybe you can teach them some entrepreneurial skills. Every summer, we get a slew of people, teenagers, knocking on our doors, trying to be the ones to cut our grass. And what's awesome, I'll tell you this, it's awesome. I cut my own grass, but it's awesome to see these kids come to the door, not just saying, hey, I'm such and such, I would like to cut your grass. These kids have business cards.
Yep.
These kids have reference letters telling you about their service. And guess what? Somebody had to teach them that.
Well, we had someone knock on our door, and it was a grandfather with his grandson, and he started this business for his grandson where he goes around, he paints the neighbors' mailboxes, I believe, for like $20 or $30. And I thought that was brilliant. And he told me that he painted like over 200 mailboxes in the neighborhood alone. And I started to do the math, $20 or $30. I mean, that's $4,000 to $6,000 right there that this young man, this teenager, 17, 18 years old, that he did all because his grandfather showed him how to start a business.
Mm-hmm. Tell them about how to either work for themselves or work for someone else is what generates the money that comes in. And when it comes to giving.
Right, when it comes to giving, that's so very big in our home. Our children, they see me write the check out for church. And as a matter of fact, I allow them to put money in the offering basket or even to put our check in the offering basket. Around Christmas, we love to either adopt a family or adopt children for Christmas where we buy them items, or we give in other ways as well too. Around Christmas, it's not always adopting a family or children, but we allow our children to go with us to go shopping, to pick out those items for that little boy or that little girl. I can remember when our son was just, I believe he was like 2 years old. We could have dropped him off at grandma's house, for her to watch them. But no, we wanted to take him with us. We wanted him to get along, get in this experience, and learn how to give and be a blessing to others. That's extremely, extremely important, that you show your children how to give and be a blessing to others. I will say this, though, in my home, because my parents, they didn't always give to us, and we couldn't always just buy toys, buy random. Christmas was a big deal in our home. I mean, it was a big deal. It was an event that we looked forward to because we did not get throughout the year. We got things as we needed them, but our parents didn't just buy us a toy just random just because, unless it was some type of special event, whether it be birthdays or in your case like good grades or report card or Christmas. So we actually do that in our home. Christmas is a big deal for our children because I don't just go into the store at random and say, okay, pick out a toy. Now, I will bring them home certain things that they like, that I might get on clearance or something. Maybe they get excited over pajamas. They really do. They get excited over pajamas. Oh my gosh, Mama bought me these pajamas.
I got some new bed sheets.
And they don't realize they needed it. But hey, if they're getting happy for that, then hey, I'm happy. Yeah. But too many times I'm in the store, I can hear that little child falling out in the toy aisle. And I can hear that parent, the mother, saying, I just bought you a toy when we were at the store 2 days ago. All right, hurry up, just pick out one more thing. And I thought, wow, that's such a sad case. We're not teaching our children the concept of working. they're starting to feel entitled. That's the problem. You don't want your children to feel entitled and to feel like they always have to get, always have to get things,
Yeah, another big mistake that we see in dealing with people is that a lot of people grew up real tight with money. So Ty and I grew up to where we didn't get a lot of things given to us. And so then we become adults and we turn around and want to give our kids everything because we didn't get anything.
Right.
And that's the worst thing you can be doing to your kids because they're not learning work ethic. Now, maybe your kids aren't of the age that they can go out and work on their own, but can they work hard in school and earn something from you? It comes in many different ways. It's just that you have to teach them and get them to understand that money comes from work. Money doesn't come from handouts. The world doesn't owe you anything. Mommy and daddy don't owe you anything. If you want something, you got to go out and work for it, whether that's going and creating your own company or working hard and being the best employee that you can for somebody else.
And you know what? If you don't teach your children, someone will. Society will, television will. I mean, we see all of these shows on television now. Mm-hmm. They're teaching our young girls how they should dress, what to buy, the music as well too, the magazines. There's so many different influences that influence our children's lives that they're going to learn. So you want them to learn the right way.
And I'll tell you where they won't be learning about money, and that's in school. I work in schools, and there's no curriculum to teach them about how to handle their money. I mean, there are curriculums out there, but most schools don't spend the time or the effort to teach your children about personal finance. So guess what? If you don't talk to your kids about money, you're going to let the culture talk to your kids about money. And we live in a consumerist culture, and they're going to teach your kids the wrong lessons, and your kids are going to grow up and fall flat on their face. If you love your kids, you need to teach them how to save their money, how to spend their money, and how to give with their money.
And you know what? It's okay if you made some mistakes and maybe you weren't the great, the best role model for your children when it came, to handle your finances. Maybe your children saw you just buy and not pay the bills. Sit down with your children. Tell them, what, mommy and daddy made a lot of mistakes. The way we used to handle money, we used to be able to give you all everything. Things are going to change now, but for the better. Because you can turn things around. All hope is not lost.
Yeah.
You can change the direction of your family when it comes to handling your money and teaching your children how to handle money.
And if you guys are just starting out on your debt-free journey, then that's perfect because guess what? You need to take your kids on the journey with you. You need to break it down like Ty said. Well, this is what things used to be like, and now this is how we have to do things now. And this is why we have to do things like this, because we want to make sure that when you become an adult, we're on good financial footing. We want to make sure that when you go to college, you don't have to saddle yourself with a bunch of student loan debt because we weren't there to help support you in your efforts to gain a college degree. Take them with you on the journey. If you're working your way out of debt, explain what debt is, why it's bad, and why you should avoid it. Perfect opportunity for you to share the process and the journey with your kids.
That's right.
So remember now, this is a community. His and Her Money is in existence to help as many people as possible win with their money. So we want to hear from you in the comment section. What ways are you teaching your kids about money, and what ways were taught to you by your parents? Because guess what? Lots of people read the comments and they learn from the comments. So take the time to help us all out by sharing some of the lessons that you have learned along the way in the comment section.
That's right. And if you guys enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already to stay up to date with any and all new videos. We want to say a great big hello and a welcome to all of our new subscribers. Don't forget, check us out over on our website at hisandhermoney.com and meet us here back next Sunday for our Sunday night sit down at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where you will see the both of us sharing with you.
And in the meantime, do not forget, don't be the only one left out. Download the PERISCOPE app and meet us every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, live in real time, where we'll be talking about different topics and answering your questions. You'll be able to just shoot us a question right there on the spot, and we can answer it for you. Additionally, don't forget, we are on iTunes and Sticher Radio. Just search for the His and Her Money Show. We have an awesome podcast, different content where we share lots of debt-free stories. We share lots of personal finance advice, lots of marriage advice. Listen, you need to go to iTunes or Sticher Radio and subscribe to the His and Her Money Show so you can get all type of motivation to help you during the week.
That's right, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and we've enjoyed talking with you. Well, until next time,
peace.
Bye.